There we are. Welcome, welcome. Thanks all for joining. It's Tuesday the 4th of April, 2023, and we're in the Ambassador Town Hall number 24. And that's pretty awesome, indeed. Flyerfools, thanks for the hands ups and the claps and stuff. Awesome. Today, we are joined by a lot of people. We're 22 strong. We're joined by Roger Caboti, August Ratsdau, Akil, Bart Cardinal, Cardano Klaas, Crandano, Creed, Debonair, Flyerfools, Hedelf, Ian, Judith, Kenichi, Lily Cupcake, Little Butts, Mikasa, Stephen, Sugar and Spice, The Fries DeFi, and Zaf. Amazing to see you all here. Thanks. As per usual, I made a little agenda as a structure for the meeting. It's relatively short today, but I'm sure we'll find topics to cover. In the meantime, do keep not in either in chat or in in your head, and bring them up later. There's definitely space for open topics. So without further ado, let's just dive right in. First, a little reminder on what we're doing here for those watching for the first time, joining in to the call for the first time. Basically, the ambassadors is a group of people that all feel close to the SingularityNet ecosystem or want to learn more about it, and also help the ecosystem grow. And broadly speaking, what we do is, that's a good. It's such a broad question, and I try to not read out the question, but basically, it's a way where community members can channel their energy into spreading the word on the project on SingularityNet. And we do that in self-organizing work groups. And there's a whole bunch of them. There's video work groups, there's a writer guild, there's all kind of bit more processy side of things. There's a lot of work groups which you can join and contribute. And while doing so, you get to meet some nice people and learn a thing or two. Then, as per usual, we always get started with a little overview on the work groups. For the Process Guild last week, we went over a whole bunch of tasks that were still not picked up. The Process Guild is really looking at how things are working in the back and trying to make that scalable, basically. I won't dive too deep in there. There's a meeting overview on Ambassador YouTube. Let me actually paste that in the event chat for those interested. That overview video more than covers it. For the Treasury Guild, we did a pretty cool session actually. I think it was recorded. I'm not super sure. It's not yet, at least on the YouTube. Basically, what we did was we went through the whole process of verifying the transactions to be made, and then actually also doing it with a lot of in-depth explanation of the Treasury Guild to potential people who want to pick up on being part of the Treasury Guild and also helping out there. And both these guilds do have meetings. For the Process Guild, it's right after the Town Hall, so at 19 UTC on Tuesdays. And for the Treasury Guild, it's 15:30 UTC on Thursdays. And that brings us to the next work group, which is the biggest currently, the most active one. Let's see who's in the house and who can I give the word to give a little update there. We've got both David and Crandano. Perhaps any takers?
Yeah, definitely. I can give an update. Marketing Guild met this previous Friday at 13 UTC. We began the meeting lightly discussing Wednesday's incubation and strategy meeting. We then discussed a few deep funding proposals that were approved by the community vote that could have relations with Marketing Guild. This includes proposals, SingularityNet 360 events at universities, improved deep funding social media and publicity, and Singularity Swarm's building community town halls. The plan is to reach out to these teams and choose one of our Friday meetings to have them come meet up together, collaborate, be a connected party, and help amplify each other's efforts. Bart Cardinal has been creating infographics, and we discussed creating more tasks for them to work on within the work groups, as well as content for our social media channels. Rojo worked on a getting started video for D-Work and is seeking feedback. The video is posted in the Marketing Guild channel. We lightly discussed Gitbook and the role that writers group could have in shaping our Ambassador Gitbook. And Marketing Guild meets Fridays at 13 UTC. The meeting is open, always looking for more feedback and ideas. Writers Work Group is after the Guild meeting and begins at 14 UTC, followed by video, which meets at 15 UTC. And then, yeah, Kenichi's here. We could get a writer's update from him, and then we can hear from Rojo about video.
Awesome. Yes, please. Kenichi? If you are here. Or if not, perhaps Roger Gabati can start off?
Yeah, I can start off until Kenichi comes. So, what has been happening in the video work group? So, for the last week, we had a period for people to submit their portfolios. That period is done. And most people, if not everyone who actually submitted their portfolios, seemed to be eligible. Nobody had any objections for anyone. So all these people are official interns now in the video work group. And if you look at your icon, you will see that you have the role. And you will also see that the video work group channel became private. So the only people who at the moment have access to it are interns, members, and ambassadors. So yeah, looking forward to start working on the project. As Grandano said, I worked, well, the first video that is done by the workgroup is basically, last week I've been working on this small introduction for D-Work. It needs feedback, it still needs some work. We're thinking about splitting it for different use cases. Also maybe changing the voice and some couple of other stuff. But yeah, you're welcome to watch it, give us your feedback as much as possible, that would be great. And yeah, that's about it for the video workgroup. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for that. It looks like Kenichi isn't far from ready, as he appears to have left the call currently. We might get back to that. Did anybody else attend the writers' work group? And perhaps could give a little update on that. Okay.
I wasn't there, but I think there are a couple of members here that were. Or I guess we can circle around. If no one wants to.
Yeah, no, I was there. We kind of went through the process for bringing people into the Writers Guild. Kenichi put his test out for everyone to be able to edit, apply for to gain the Scribbler role. So if anybody listening to this call right now is interested in participating in the Writers Work Group, please head over to the Writers Work Group channel. You'll see a test up in the feed somewhere where you can do a short, very simple test just to make sure people actually do know how to edit and write properly. And once you submit that, you can become a scribbler and are part of the Writers Workshop. Went into some other things I don't think we really need to get into right now, but those meetings, they're Friday mornings right after the marketing workgroup call.
I'm doing a quick check on the calendar, because I think it's currently not on the calendar yet. Is that... Let me refresh. I don't think it made it onto the public calendar yet. So it's now established that these meetings will be after the Marketing Guild call, correct?
I believe that's what we all agreed on. I believe that's what we did last week, unless something's changed. I know there was a little bit of a conflict whether it was going to be directly after the marketing group call or postponed an hour. But I think for continuity's sake, we agreed to do it directly following.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't see the writers on the calendar yet, but I'll reach out to Kenichi and make sure, and then we can get it on the calendar if it is.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
I see
that's fair.
video. I see video on the calendar.
Okay, so that would make it a 3-hour stretch. Oh, that's nice. It's clustered together. Cool. All right. Then the next one on the list would be the Strategy Guild and the Incubation Workshop. Well, as most of you here are aware, this is an ongoing process for some time, and looks like some of us are starting to feel like it's time to get to conclusions. I think we're moving to the we're getting there. Not quite yet, but we are getting there. Let's start off perhaps with the incubation work group.
Yeah, sure. So last week we were kind of defining between the participants in incubation group what it means to them, kind of getting a few drops in the water of what we're going to develop over the next weeks and months. We went through a few things, incubating the management system and identifying that is kind of necessary in order to move forward with other parts of the ambassador program. We looked at a few roles, a few low-level tasks, determined steps for onboarding, which are being taken forward, and some opportunities to link up the different work groups between writers creating content, handing it over to marketing, handing it over to videos, and kind of creating a cross-work group flow between them. And this incubation this week will be focusing on incubating the ambassador role and kind of trying to set out the parameters of what that means, as we've identified that is the thing we need to get sorted in order to move forward the community. So very welcome to join anyone that wants to get involved. We're trying to make this a very grassroots session where we're kind of open sourcing knowledge and wisdom from the community and kind of trying to harness this collaborative atmosphere. So thanks guys, and I look forward to seeing you there.
Thanks a lot for that. Yeah, it's these sessions, both the incubation work group and the strategy session. It's really I think it's good. We're right now going through the process of establishing the framework to then, for the coming quite a long period, have a clear framework where we can progress on.
Yeah.
Crondano, anything from your side on the incubation work group, or should I go to the strategy guild?
Unfortunately, I had to miss last week's meeting. I had some family in town, but I think Head Elf did the strategy.
Yep.
Yes, I did. And it's such a beautiful time, 2 hours back to back, banging out of incubation into strategy, from ideation to total spirited conversation on where we're going. And we had that last week. We touched on Gitbook for the onboarding process, and there is an outline that I put out. Please visit it and give your ideas and concepts of how to do the onboarding as we move forward. The Fries D-Fry did put out the first article on the overview, but now we need to look more at onboarding, but that's not an immediate high priority. Rojo spoke a little bit about governance, and we're looking into some different things with that, including Sway, and I know TiVo is looking at, besides DAO Lens, he's looking into one or two other platforms, and I've been
Whoop, hello?
We're back, maybe?
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
I think 2 sentences got lost there, probably.
Okay, so we've gone into a very spirited budget picking back up from the following week. We've pretty much settled roles and guilds and compensation, at least on the minimum amount. This week in Strategy Guild, we're going to pick up where we left off on percentages for each of the layers of the guilds and roles. And we left off on the ambassador compensation. And I've put up, if you look in the Strategy Guild, I've put up another spreadsheet on what the Ajax token is worth today. I think today was 0.41, and look at it on the downside and the upside and how much funds will be available for compensation of full-time or semi-full-time ambassadors. And that should take up most of the Strategy Guild meeting tomorrow. I'd like to stay focused on the one topic before we move on. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Just quickly checking what's popping in chat. Yes, a document on infinite task ideation by Fly of Fools. And the document which Hedolf mentioned on onboarding and how to, all the steps involved in the onboarding process. Thanks a lot for that. So these both the incubation workshop and the strategy guild meetings take place on Wednesday evenings at 19 UTC. Yes, 19 UTC, and then strategy guild at 20. All right. Anything else on the topic? Just checking. Let's see. Yeah, then the small reminder that all these, all the events, all the meetings and work groups and sessions, they're all on the public calendar, which you can. I want to link it in chat, but that screws with my screen share. I'll link it in a bit. All right. Then that covers the work group progress. Do we have Kenichi by now? No. Okay. Then I wanted to, in tasks. There's a couple of blog posts incoming. Both the monthly ecosystem update, but also the quarterly operations update. And I figured I would like to get some input on adding more languages or not, because it gets mentioned every now and then, and I also see people requesting, like, how can we please start supporting language X? And I figured, well, since we now have a group with 20 plus people, might as well get some input on whether we should or not, should add more languages or not.
From my side, perhaps adding Arabic would be a nice thing as a starter.
What are the current languages again?
Right now we have Chinese, Russian, Portuguese, Spanish, and French. And there was a short list of potential languages to add as well. Arabic is on that list. I think I don't know it fully from top of mind, but I basically checked on YouTube statistics and website visitors, simply checking where the audiences were from. There were a couple of tricky ones, like, for example, German has a audience size-wise, it would make perfect sense. At the same time, I think English understanding of German would be quite above average. So that makes it a little bit tricky whether or not to include it in translations. Another pretty often requested one would be Vietnamese. Japanese is also requested quite a bit. Turkish. Let's see. Yeah, then Arabic. Now I'm skipping on one.
Just in the spirit of engagement, I know that Cardano class is Moroccan, so he probably speaks English. There is another, I think there is a Turkish member from here. So I think we already have, because I'm already doing the French translation and I have so much to do. I might not be able to do the Arabic translation, but I think Cardano class might, I don't know if he's interested, but he might. I don't know if there might be, I believe there is someone Turkish here. So please write in the chat if you know Turkish. That's a nice thing. There was also, as you said, Vietnamese. Someone said Vietnamese in the marketing channel before, and there is a huge Vietnamese community. Actually, they're often forgotten, but yeah, there is a huge community in there as well.
Oh, absolutely. It gets requested a lot on Telegram specifically as well. But also today I did see it on Discord indeed. Same for Turkish. I think the Turkish Telegram would be the most active group of all our local groups, let's say.
Peter, just from a budget standpoint, you're going to have to increase the percentage of budget for translators if we take on more languages. And also, I would note that there were, I think, 2 deep funded proposals for translation that may have been passed. I forget, so we should keep those in mind. And that may not come out of our budget. But we have budgeted currently for 6 languages. That's only 48 AGICs a week. So you need to increase that.
Well, right now we do have 5 languages, so there's potentially then, without changing anything, that there would be at least an additional language could be supported.
Also, the translations are paid after 2 weeks, so we should consider that. I think if they are paid every 2 weeks, then that the budget kind of adds up. So we might be able to support more than 6.
I'm not sure how the time of distribution of rewards that doesn't change the total amount, right?
It depends. For example, right now we're kind of doing every 2 to 3 weeks we're doing 1 translation, 1 article or something like that. So if we calculate it like that, it does add up to more. You can do the calculation. I don't want to do it now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So there's 2 things. One is, do we want to support more languages? I mean, if the answer is no, then it's very straightforward. If the answer is yes, we do need to run some calculations. Sorry, if I go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I think that we should roll out languages kind of as necessary. I don't think we should. The budget can be kind of optimized accordingly. But I think, yeah, why not? For me, I think it would be great to add multiple languages. I think it's definitely something that should come from, this analytics, and it's great that we have these kind of communities that are already established, that we kind of, just that. But I think it's a great idea.
It's same as Peter said, for example, before, the Turkish community, for instance, is quite active, and giving them translations to give, for example, if someone is coming through their Discord, through their Telegram, I usually they would like to give some content to these people who are coming in newly to the Telegram or something like that. So yeah, I think having translate, especially to active communities, as Fly said, if there is a need, we should definitely consider that.
Well, it's a bit tricky. It's like a chicken and an egg problem, right? In a way, you could argue that that these translations would help grow a local community. Yeah,
Totally.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind experimenting a little there, and just to add a tiny additional thing on the Turkish community specifically, because I think it's super awesome. There's people in there already translating, just doing it. Yeah, not saying we should that's an argument for spending token rewards on it, but it does indicate, at least intention-wise, it's pretty awesome.
I think in terms of data that we'd be getting back, it would be much more interesting to kind of go in all these languages that are coming up, and at least try and see what fish kind of bites. I think there is a treasury allocation, and we can translation can definitely experiment with that. I think it's.
I would suggest also, certainly someone else mentioned referring to analytics, because on other projects I've done, I spent quite a lot of resources on translation, in that case into Spanish, and although there was an active community, the actual people who used the translation was quite minimal, so the actual cost of it didn't pay off. But as Peter says, that is like a chicken and egg situation. But I'd recommend constantly using analytics to seeing if you're doing a translation, is it being used, and then to help that inform further decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. In a way, it's pretty straightforward, since these translations get posted onto the community forum, which is a discourse forum. It's you can just see the page views of every translation, so that in itself is at least decent information to see what's being used or what isn't.
Should we maybe I wonder if this is something we should get the marketing guild involved in, promoting these translations, because we're creating them, but I don't think, as far as I know, I'm not sure if we're doing much to actually get them out there and promote them.
By the way, on the spirit of what Stefan actually said, so there are some communities where, for example, they would speak a language, but they would speak like their local language, but they don't mind reading in English. A good example, as Peter said, is the German community. Most Germans speak English. Dutch, for example, Dutch people, very similar as well. Scandinavian country. So they, between themselves, as a local community, they would speak their local language, but they don't mind reading in English. I would argue even, I guess, the Arabic community that is interested in blockchain also is familiar with English. You have some other, maybe the Turkish community is less, well, I live in Turkey, so I know a little bit about it. I guess they would prefer, from my interactions, they would prefer to read more in Turkish. That might apply to French community as well. From my experience, again, with the French community, they would prefer to read in French rather than English. Yeah, I think it depends on every community. Japanese, for example, community as well prefers to read in Japanese.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Maybe Krandano mentions in chat. Maybe we can schedule one of our Friday marketing guild meetings with some marketing people from the foundation to coordinate on translation posts. To coordinate on that, I'm not entirely sure what you mean there. If I'm being honest, but wouldn't mind it.
Oh yeah, Ian mentioned some of the translation posts. We haven't been amplifying them very well, so maybe we could schedule one of our Friday meetings, get some of those deep funding, more social media based proposals to come meet on a Friday, and then maybe make sure you and Ian and whoever else is in marketing at the foundation is there. We can kind of coordinate on making posts and amplifying each other.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I do think, in light of these deep funding proposals, I do need to double check, but I believe none of them, like the local initiative proposals, made it through the vote.
Oh, let me see. I thought there was a couple.
But don't get me wrong, if they are, we should definitely.
I think that's a really good point, and it's also an opportunity to kind of develop a better workflow between Translations Guild and marketing. Perhaps we could, create a communication channel where yeah, we kind of pick up on what's being created and kind of put it out there. I think Kenichi and Grandano have been doing Twitter as of late, but I think it should be something focused on this week to define that role.
Yeah, good stuff. I unfortunately won't be attending on Friday myself, but don't let that hold you back, of course.
It won't. Yeah, man.
When is the quarterly article coming out? Or did it already come out?
It did not yet. No. Yeah.
One of the things.
I don't have a concrete date. Otherwise, it would have been out already.
One of the things I'm thinking about doing is Twitter Space, about a quarterly, maybe Twitter Space for this, for updates. We can have a couple of people. I mean, if the community joins, that would be great, and we can have like an open discussion on Twitter. That would be nice.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I like it a lot.
I missed that. Could you repeat, Roger?
I was referring to the quarterly, so there is a quarterly update article. I said perhaps after it comes out, we can turn it into, not turn it, but have a Twitter space where we discuss it. What's happened, what we're excited about, what we like, what we don't like as a community, basically.
Would
Nice.
Just for a little bit of
it be possible? Sorry, would it be possible to stream that Twitter space? I'm just thinking of amplification. Maybe I know some people stream it for a YouTube channel, and then they have comments there, and then have something to record. I'm not sure if that's always appropriate.
There is an option for recording Twitter Spaces. That recording can be. Well, I've seen some recordings of Spaces on YouTube, so that is definitely possible.
Yeah, I guess most of the reason is to do the Twitter Space itself. That's where most of the engagement happens. I suppose I'm just thinking that term amplification of using every opportunity to draw attention to things as much as possible. And I suppose that's about connecting things together for that. But yeah, cool.
Sounds great. Actually, me and Grandano had a little ideation recently about putting out a Twitter space for the community and making it a regular thing. Using Twitter as that platform for kind of open dialogue and experimentation. Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, it really sounds like a precursor to the podcast, but yeah, I just wanted to throw this out there. But yeah, it could be a great beginning if it works well. That could be the beginning for a podcast.
Yeah, very true. Good stuff. Then I see Sled asking in chat, is there any update on the writers' work group? We did cover it a little bit, but that was at the moment when Kenichi was not in the call, and he is right now. So maybe now's a decent time to have a little update from Kenichi's side on the writers' work group.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes. Yep.
Sorry, can you guys just give me like 2 minutes? I will give an update on that.
Absolutely.
Just 2 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, so that's coming. Let's see. Then also on the languages still, which is how we got here at the Twitter space topic. But the translation side of things, Head of suggested in chat to figure out a schedule and bring on a language every quarter and work on a best practice on how to support, which in a way sounds good. At the same time, we have the process already for translations. The process is in place, so I'm not sure if the like making a dework task saying translate into Japanese. That's I think all it takes. I mean, we need onboarding for the translator if it's a new person, but
For Japanese, let's just first put the word out there. Let's see if there is a community member who already speaks Japanese. That would be great, and then perhaps we can create the task.
I'm pretty sure if I would post it in the Japanese Telegram group, there would be people jumping on that.
Oh yeah, there is. Okay, I didn't know there is a Japanese Telegram group. Okay.
Yeah,
Then
there's
it's fair.
it has 164 members even, so
Wow.
there's definitely a group for that.
It is a reminder that I think we can definitely make some roads and bridges between Telegram and Discord in the coming weeks.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, it works. Did he just immediately after asking that leave the call? It looks like. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll actually make a little overview on the local groups. So, like for example, the Japanese group has 164 people. The Turkish group, for example, has 376 members. Just not zero. It's pretty awesome, actually. And just for context, I'll throw in another one. China has 280. Portugal has 101. Spanish has 330. German has 117. So yeah, there's just for illustration purposes, there's tons of local groups, and I'm pretty convinced if we would post in a group with 100 people asking for anybody interested in doing a translation in their language, that would be no problem.
Peter, I have a question. This is a little bit away from the translation, but I wanted to ask if it would be possible for someone, like a technical person from the foundation, like a dev, to do a small workshop for us, maybe in the next couple of weeks, to show implementation from the marketplace. Would that be possible?
Implementation as in onboarding an AI set?
No, like for example, they would show us like a use case, like an API call, and then what to use it for, and something like that, like an hour maybe workshop, basically technical workshop.
Yeah, I can ask. I'm convinced that they would say, like, is there any concrete request you're looking for? But an idea a bit on that.
The reason for this is that usually I talk to my friends about this stuff and introducing, and usually what they ask for is like, because I have a lot of computer science friends, and what they ask for is like, okay, how do you actually do it? And it's like, okay, check the website, but it would be much better if, for example, if I'm gonna do something in my school, it's gonna be like a small workshop. I could do an implementation myself if I learn it properly from one of the devs, let's say.
Konichi, I think we can hear you now.
Okay, all right. Sorry to cut in. The update from Writers Work Group is not much. I reviewed Slate's submission for the test, the copy editing test, and I also had the new submission, I think day before yesterday or yesterday, from Mikasa, which I will also be reviewing. Sorry for the slow pace of things and all. I've been having issues with my laptop, and I just got it back today. So I'll be trying to cover a lot of ground, hopefully, in the coming days. I spoke on the last call that upon the submission of the test and passing the test, I will be assigning those people with the scribbler role as discussed in the document, on the governance document I sent a couple weeks ago. So I will be kind of like needing a bit of right, technically, so I can administer the by giving people to give people the roles, and even anyone that joins and is interested should also be given the PP role, so we know that okay, at least this person is interested in joining our work group and wants to take our test. So yes, the roles, the role tags will be probably our highest update for the week upon when I'm done with the assessment of the 2 submissions, and I'm looking forward to more. Sukin Spice and I think she wants to help out with the editing framework stuff. I've been trying to get her on my Notion page, but I'm not sure if I can totally share it. We are still working out things. So hopefully to make the editing framework a bit better. And yeah, I said they were supposed to draw out threads or at least tweets to announce our meeting, but I wanted to discuss this I wanted to discuss it here, honestly, on which meetings do we want to announce, given the fact that it's technically a method of onboarding people because people will join, and also I don't know if the treasury meeting is still accepting or is still in need of new commands and all. But if we need eyes on that, definitely we should always have tweets ready to go out for that, probably like 3 different formats, so it will look repetitive. And for the fact that the work groups meeting, I don't feel the work group meeting should be announced based on the fact that they require it's a bit gated, and so therefore such person should join this call initially, and then upon learning about the guilds can show their interest, and then we can fully onboard them. But if there's any other thing that I mentioned also on our last call, that the writers workshop isn't necessarily like it's not a guild at all. So at any point in time, we should be open to contributions, collaboration. So basically just me saying that we don't have to wait until every call or every meeting before we share an update and before we share something. Because for the tweet stuff, I sent the release, the algorithm release for Twitter, the open source part of the algorithm that shows how their tweet structure works. And I hope everyone has maybe at least studied it a bit so we can know how we're going to, pardon me, but yeah, exploit it in a way to get more of our tweets more out there and all. And that's the update from me. So technically, the reason why I've still been stalling a bit on the assessments because I assessed Slate's own, and I think so far so good. Yes, I'm not seeing any errors, but I'll be putting it up on my laptop tonight and I'll go through it extensively because I only went through it on my phone. And yes, so I'll be open to give him the tag very soon. So I'll probably have to, I don't know if Peter wants to speak to you about that. We'll need tags for the writers work group. Yes, just the work group lead. And I was still thinking we still need note takers, but I can send you the full list of the tags that we'll be needing and the benefits that come with the tags. So that's the update from the writers work group. And if any other thing, anyone can chat me up with the writers work group. If they need any more, maybe a more concise update and all. But hopefully by the time we get the ground running, because currently we only have 2 people that have taken our copy editing test. We don't have anyone that's taken our content editing test. I'd like to mention that. And so at least right now we know that if we have any articles coming up, we have 2 people. So far, I've not assessed it, but so far we have 2 people, hopefully, that can help make our articles more efficient and more professional. To actually have more outreach. And so yeah, that's the update from the writers work group. But hopefully I would like to have a better update for the marketing call on Friday. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks for that. We did touch on earlier whether or not the meeting should be included in the public calendar. And yeah, you touched on this. Like, in a way, it's a gated meeting, and then people should first, basically become like a scribbler, I believe is the correct term, or intern, like a prospect for joining the guild. But I still think it would be good to have it in the public calendar. This makes me wonder. I think theoretically you could even make a gated voice channel on Discord, but maybe that's pushing it a bit much. I guess, I mean, it would be your choice, I figure.
I posted a question in chat on, on my background is QA DAO. I did some research and writing on Cardano, and I got funded for that. And we did a white paper on democracy and so on. And part of the ongoing research I've been looking at now is reputation systems, which include comparisons of proof of reputation for a SingularityNet and reputation at stake in Cardano. And I really would like to bring that kind of project to here. So would the writers group be the right place for that?
One thing, I guess with Kenichi leading writers work group, he has an understanding of that. But I just wanted to do a little call out that if you're interested, this could be something that you can make into a breakout room at this week's Steep Funding Town Hall on Thursday. And I put the sign-up form here if you would like to, like make an open space during that event.
Yeah, that could be a good way to start the conversation. Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. I do think I'm not entirely sure if the, let's say, the knowledge on proof of reputation within the Writers Guild is currently at academic paper level. I'm not even sure that my personal knowledge on it would not be that. So
I suppose the idea, Peter, is, and this happened in Cardano Catalyst as well, is that a lot of the academic work is centralized, is done by the people doing the development and all that. And really it's an idea to bring that to the community. I'm not saying the community in the beginning is going to have that kind of knowledge, but it's to send a message. It's to say, look, the community is capable about this at this level. And we proved that with a project that was funded, collaborated with people from IOG and the community on.
Stephen, I'm not. We're not. I would like to say the Writers World Group, since we are just. These are early days and all, so we're not there yet. But I was thinking of an idea of an academic section where we actually do try to educate people more about what it is we do and what it is. All these terms, or probably maybe even a mini series on all our jargons and all that we use in space, and a lot of people might not actually understand. But since we're not there yet, maybe in the coming weeks or months, definitely it's something that we want to do. But at least once we have our work group down and we have people that, I feel like we still need to educate the work group itself before we start.
Absolutely, and it's kind of like, and I know from the other work that we do, it's not just let's do some academic paper, because that kind of work is very long term and takes a lot of time, and then also it needs to be complemented, as you say, with onboarding people and providing simple guides to things like terminology, key ideas. So it's all about this getting community ideas out there at different levels. So to attract different. My interest is on the academic side, but I understand that there needs to be a kind of communication link all the way through to other areas, from a simple overview to more detail, and then even more detail, that kind of.
Yeah, good stuff. As Cardano asked in chat, what would be the best way to get or to stay up to date on Quality Assurance DAO?
I'll post my Twitter handle, and you can look through the historic feed there to see the kind of things we do, and I'll post on there regularly. But I'm really quite keen to bring, because there is crossover with SingularityNet. Okay.
Awesome, thanks a lot. And yeah, can confirm. I have
Yeah.
a little glimpse there every now and then.
Sounds great.
Let's see. Headolf brought up why there's two separate town halls for deep funding and ambassadors, and perhaps combining them with breakout rooms for different interests would increase efficiency and engagement. Yeah, I personally don't really think that's optimal to combine the two. I feel it's a separate program and also a separate audience in a way. I would feel annoyed by missing out on the deep funding town halls because I would be hosting a breakout room every time. Not saying that should be a leading thing in the decision making there. In a way, it's interesting. It both touches on decentralization and community and yeah. Yeah, interesting.
I totally get your point, the phrase DeFi, about not shutting down collaboration between program and writers group and others coming in. I think definitely we should be trying to incubate this. Great point. And as Grandano said a bit earlier, it could even be its own work group, or he said something to that extent. But yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, I definitely agree. At one point, we were kind of talking about doing a work group towards like researching various DAO structures and ambassador-like projects, doing some comparisons. So it would be really cool to have a work group that's just based around research, and then having somebody lead it that already has experience in it. Be really cool to have a branch of the ambassador program that's doing research, especially academic research, would be really cool.
Definitely.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, that would be awesome. Absolutely.
There is a minute left. There is something that was proposed by Felix last week, or last weekend, I guess, about having, well, this is for the future, but just something nice to mention. There was this idea about having a stake pool for the ambassador program. Just an idea so far. It just was thrown out there, but interesting idea to think about for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing with stake pools is it's not too simple to operate one. I know for a fact I couldn't do it. I'm also sure we do have the expertise in-house to potentially do that. It's definitely interesting. It was discussed at some point in the very early phases of the ambassador program to, well, it can serve as an additional or alternative source of income, right? So
definitely, yeah. I mean, that's what Swarm is kind of basically doing as well. So
yeah, true. Yeah, looking at the clock, let me quickly check if there's anything significant in my slides coming. Did want to do a little call out on community call on the loyalty rewards. It was initially planned for yesterday, on Monday. I just could not make it work scheduling wise, so that will take place on Thursday. It's also in the shared calendar at that. And on Zoom, the previous week slide, which I was editing to make this week's slide, mentioned like, next week we'll use Zoom, but that didn't happen. The account is ready, just the setup side is not ready, and I need to actually properly record it. So I didn't want to, like half an hour before, while in another call, trying to figure out all the settings and end up with a crappy recording, basically. So very likely next week we'll have a Zoom link to join, but that will simply be in the Discord event. And that would be the very last slide. Seeing we're over time, well, let's have a quick check if there's further questions or thoughts, or stuff people want to share to be included in this session? I did see a raised hand earlier, actually. Was Cardano Claus? Who maybe was waving as he afterwards left the call. So I think we're good there. Anybody?
Just to say, like with Stephen, the ambassador program is all about kind of enabling these community ideas and coming together like this. So really looking forward to what we can like stir up together with this idea and see what comes of it. And a call out to like anyone else who has ideas, who like this is a place for ideas like that.
Yeah, I've been in the background for a while, actually, quite close colleagues with Felix. So, but I've been kind of biding my time because I don't want to come in straight away and start saying straight away, let's do academic research. So it's just broaching and just subject, just to start a conversation about it. I'm not, and as you say, as an opportunity for exposure and to link into onboarding and exposition, communication, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's funny you guys mentioned that because I was just typing in chat. All you quiet people, keep in mind it just takes one sentence to stimulate awesome ideas and change trajectories and really make a big difference. So always feel free to share your thoughts and feedback. It helps out a lot.
Amazing, dude. It seems we have somehow merged.
Awesome. Yeah, I see Tivo joined as well. Looking where the people for the Process Guild meeting are, what's holding them up. I think we'll wrap it for now. Just
all good.
waiting a little bit. Oh, sorry, I talked through you, Felix. Sorry, Tivo.
No, I'm all good. We can have a longer download if you wish. I came from another place and been so long that I was last time in this town hall. I'm seeing always new people here, so and getting bigger. But next week I will be here at the start.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that wraps it. For those interested, you can join the Process Guild call on the Zoom link, which, let me double check if it's there. It is. Nice. It's always there. I'm not sure why I'm even wondering about it. So yeah, you can join that Zoom call for the Process Guild meeting, and if not, there's a whole range of meetings coming up, so hope to see you around, and otherwise see you on Discord. Thanks for joining. Cheers.